Alright, this is how I love to start my videos. Check him out. Another turtle today. If you watch my last video, we got like 5 or 6 of these guys. Check him out. Isn't that awesome? He's a beautiful creature, isn't he? Yes, indeedy. Watching the world burn, watching the world burn. August 18th, 2024. Let's get into it. Oh man, he's moving. Hold on, let's get him back on the video. Look how fast them little guys move, man. Look how fast he moves. That is incredible, isn't it? You know what, when they flip over on their back, I found a turtle in the woods and he was flipped over and his little feet were flapping around in the air and I had to roll him back. I felt real good about that because I love turtles. I've seen kids used to smash them and treat them bad. Anyway, so getting back to the video. I don't do this often. In fact, I never do it. You're going to want to stick around to the end of this video because Dotcom, he put out a post. And I tell you what, I mean, I read it. I mean, it's a long post. And so we're going to, that's why I'm saving it for the end because you might just cut the video off and go like, man, I just can't listen anymore. He's reading a book. He's reading a book. But anyway, it does explain everything that's going on in the world. And I was like, holy shit, I mean, he's nailed it right on the head. So we'll get a couple of quick items off the list, and then I'm going to get into the main topic at the beginning of the video here is, you know, we got the Democrat convention coming up in Chicago. And of course, the reason that she who cannot be named, according to the economic ninja, we'll call her K-pop, the reason she picked Tim Walsh was, I guess they were worried about the Muslim portion of the Democrat Party, and that they were going to demonstrate if she picked Shapiro out of Pennsylvania, which does make sense. However, the news that I'm getting is that all the businesses are boarded up right now, and they're still expecting a protest, even though she picked Tim Walsh. So I'm not sure it did any good. The other story that's out quite a bit right now is that they're going to perform another bait and switch at the Democrat convention. So K-pop may not be the Democrat nominee. It could be Michelle Obama, because she's going to be the keynote speaker, supposedly, according to what I've read, at the Democrat convention. Just a food for thought. Could be interesting. So the next piece I wanted to get into, and this is something I lost. I actually haven't lost any sleep in a very long time. I used to have PTSD after the war in Iraq, and I tell you, I was tough to be around. You know, temper tantrums, always angry. You know, even back then I was drinking a bit too much probably. You know, because I just couldn't sleep at night, you know, and the alcohol, I know a lot of people say alcohol keeps them awake. Man, I tell you what, it helped me sleep. But anyway, out hiking saved me. Hiking made it so that I sleep like a baby, but I didn't sleep last night. And so I'm going to paint you a little scenario. I don't know who it was. I want to say it was Glenn Beck, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going to get on to global thermonuclear war, and we're going to include a video once I'm done with this whole scenario at the end of this talk. So the first thing is, I want you to picture this movie right here, okay? Because this is what was going through my mind last night. I don't know why, but let's just pretend, you know, you're making a movie. Maybe somebody will make this movie someday, and you're ISIS, and you want Russia and the United States to destroy each other. So they launched this major terrorist incursion into Siberia, Russia, where they have those mobile nuclear launchers. And somehow they get the intelligence of where one of those mobile nuclear launchers is, and they ambush it. The entire crew of the mobile nuclear missile is killed, and they take control of the vehicle, and they've got some specialists along with them. And what they do is they can't override the controls to actually set the nuke off. However, they are able to get in there and reprogram the missile so that they can launch it at the United States. Okay, So they launch it, they get it, they get it all done. They launch it at the United States. Gosh dang it, camera problems again. They launch it at the United States. And of course, now the nuclear alerts. We've detected a launch. Now it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Sleepy Joe, he's up there in his bed. He's got, they've detected the launch, and they come in there and they wake him up and he's like, whoa, what's going on? Now I don't think Sleepy Joe's got the nuclear football, but make believe that he does, okay? I mean, because it is supposed to be the president, and in the past it has been the president. But I don't think Joe's the president. I think he's just a figurehead up there. But anyway, so whoever it is, they get woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're all groggy and everything. Sir, there's been a launch out of Siberia, Russia. What are you talking about? We're detecting an ICBM. Well, how long has it been? Sir, it's been a little less than 6 minutes, but we need a decision from you. And in the nuclear football, there's a set of directions for every scenario. And so now they're helping him get his clothes on. They've got the Air Force One all powered up, ready to go, because they don't know where the missile's exactly going to hit yet. And they rush him out, and he's probably putting his pants on the way to the plane. Maybe they're even carrying him at this point. Maybe somebody throws him on the back, carrying him granny style, trying to get him to the plane as fast as they can. So and of course, in the meantime, they're reading him the directions. Sir, in this scenario, it's a single missile launch. What do the directions say? Well, the directions say that we should launch on Moscow. Moscow? Well, do we know where it's going, sir? We've got it down to somewhere on the East Coast that this missile's going to land. Well, is it nuclear? Well, there's no way of knowing that, sir. We have to assume that it is a nuclear missile at this point, or nuclear tipped, which it is nuclear tipped in this scenario, except it's not armed. It's just going to hit the ground, okay? A good movie, right? So they get him up, the plane, it's now been 10, 15, 20 minutes. Okay, the plane finally takes off, Air Force One. Well, do we have a more precise location for the missile yet? Oh, it's tracking in on, looks like Washington, D.C., sir. That's why we're recommending a launch on Moscow. Well, but we don't even know if it's a nuclear missile yet. Sir, it's a ballistic missile. We have to assume it. Oh my God. Well, if in a great scenario, he might just say, you know what? Let's see what happens. Park the nuclear subs off the coast, or we've got nuclear subs off the coast of Russia, right? Yes, sir, we do. Okay. Well, let's let it land and see what happens. Okay. Do we have the capability of shooting it out of the sky, sir? We have 44. Air defense weapons that we can use to try to take it out of the air. Well, let's try that first. Sir, that doesn't leave us much time. If it hits, it's going to explode. We need to launch now if we're going to launch on Moscow. Well, if it's only one city, we can still launch on Moscow, can't we? Yes, sir. That's true. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let's see. Oh my God. I never thought I'd face this in a million years as just a figurehead president, a meat puppet in the Oval Office. Okay, so he waits. The missile comes down, it doesn't go off. Boom, we don't have World War III. Or he launches on Moscow, and let's watch what the Soviet Union, Russia, I'm not sure if it was Russia that put this out. I think it was. Let's watch that video now. there you go. Coming up on the road, we'll continue the video with some other news here in just a minute. But like I said, stick around to the end. The other thing I wanted to, before I cut this segment off, I want to encourage you to go to my profile at YouTube or at Rumble, and there I have the links to all of my places where I post. So for example, you know, I do post on Truth Social, although I only have 6 followers on Truth Social, which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, oh, and the other thing is, I'll put up the post on it. Colonel McGregor came out August 28th. They're launching a new social media service with Our Country, Our Choice. And I will definitely be there. I'm a member of Our Country, Our Choice. I'm not a paid up member, but I do follow everything that they post and put up. And I will be on their social media, even if it costs money, like I pay for X, for example. So, because what I found out is social media, they don't want you posting, you know, videos from other places and putting it up on their social media website, which makes sense. So, you know, in the past, I've always put up my YouTube video, my Rumble video, my Odyssey video on X. I just kind of try to get it into the stream every now and then. I don't think Elon likes that. I don't want to violate their rules. They put up with it, but I notice I don't really get too many hits on those posts, so they probably are censored, but which makes sense. I don't have a problem with them doing that, you know, and maybe I'll keep doing it. I don't know. But I wanted to throw that out about Our Country, Our Choice. Be sure to check it out. My last day with the boss dog. Unfortunately, the old battle axe, the ex-wife, has taken him back in just about another hour. But at least we got one more day together. He won't walk on the way out, but he'll walk on the way back. So always try to get him the exercise. So I got my notes. I don't usually do this on my hiking videos, but I wanted to get this name right because Israel just took out another top commander of Hezbollah, pissing them off even more. If you don't think that is going to be a regional war, I think I got some swampland here in Florida I'm going to sell you. No way Israel can keep provoking and assassinating people, and they're not going to launch on Israel. So we'll see when that happens. Like I said, you know, we know that they're beefing up the electronic warfare equipment in Iran, and of course they're putting in the S-400 systems, probably manned by Russians. Anyway, so his name was Hussein, H-U-S-S-E, Hussein Ibrahim Kassab, and he was just assassinated. The other thing is, I don't know if you knew, but good Lord, we've got 1/3 of the U.S. Navy now in the Mediterranean. 1/3. You don't think the United States is ready to go to war? I mean, good Lord, I mean, 1/3 of the Navy, just the money alone to have 1/3 of the Navy there is astronomical. I hope you understand that. So, I don't know why I took this note. J.D. Vance, weird. I guess that's the new Democrat theme, is J.D. Vance is weird. I see Tim Walz is weird, man. That is one weird dude. Have you seen some of the videos about him? I can't believe Kamala picked, oh shit, I've named her already. The woman who cannot be named. That's it for this video. Anyway, maybe I'll cut that out. This is another video I want you to see, because it's a video about how Israeli citizens are planning to move to Gaza once they've exterminated all the Palestinians. So, and this woman just comes out and says it. So, they at least get, or when they push the Palestinians into the desert, where they'll all die anyway. But so let's watch that video now.
שלום דניאלה.
שלום שלום. אתה עשית כזה פרומו, אז אני מקבלת טלפונים. אז למשל, משה פלד מבית השיטה מבקש שאני אשמור לו מקום במועצת העיר עזה. ואנשים חוטפים את המגרשים.
את לא התעייפת? לאן זה הולך לדעתך האירוע שלנו ברצועת עזה?
לאן זה הולך?
כן.
לדעתי, תוך פחות משנה, יהיו אזרחים יושבים בעזה.
למה את חושבת?
מכיוון שיש לי איזושהי תחושה של הריתמוס ההיסטורי. ברגע שראש הממשלה נתניהו אמר שתהיה נוכחות צבאית ממושכת, אמרתי זהו, ככה זו הזמנה למחול. והוא עשה לנו ממש הזמנה למחול. אני נשאר, ואתם תשתמשו בניסיון, אני קוראת לזה העתק הדבק. מה שעשינו ביהודה ושומרון, וגם
אבל מה יהיה עם
בעולם.
כל הערבים?
All right, so that was interesting. So the other thing, I'm going to put up a post about this, is we've got one, I can't believe it's this many, but you know, BRICS is moving along at a breakneck pace. We got, according to this post, I'll put it on, 159 countries are about to adopt the new BRICS payment system. I didn't even know there was a BRICS payment system. I mean, I know it was in the works, but I mean, I guess they'll finalize it maybe in September. Man, if that happens, the dollar is toast, for sure. Getting back to talking about, you know, posting other video sources on X, I did want to tell you, I mean, and see, this is what doesn't make sense. I've got almost 900 followers on X and 6 on Truth Social. And I tried yesterday, the last video, I tried to post it on Parler, but it wouldn't go up. So I didn't post anything on Parler. Anyway. So I don't know what's, Parler's back broken again, at least it was 2 days ago. So I'm trying to get on some other social media platforms. I'm just not going to do TikTok or Instagram or any of that stuff. So that's kind of through all the notes. We're going to stop here in a few. I'm going to do a reading through all my X posts, and then we'll get the final reading of that one by Kim.com, and that'll be the end of today's video, unless we see, well, hopefully we'll see some more nature. You know, just the one turtle so far. So I do listen to talk radio while I'm hiking. I don't know, I'm not much of a music person, although occasionally I'll put the music on. But anyway, Glenn Beck just came out with a story. This is outrageous. So the Secret Service was with K-pop, I guess in Pennsylvania at a rally that she was doing, I think Pennsylvania. And they needed a bathroom. So they picked the locks to a local business. I don't know whether it was a warehouse or just a small business. And they all went in there and used the bathroom and then didn't even lock the door back. And the owner just found out about it, you know, on Monday. And I mean, that's breaking and entering, man. The federal government has no respect for any, even the property or private rights. You see where we're heading with all this? The other story, and I put this in the last video, but I want to tell you about it again. You do know that the FBI cremated the body of the kid that shot at Trump. What, Crooks? Yeah, his name was Crooks. That's so they're covering up the investigation. I think everybody understands that now. I mean, why in the world does everybody think the FBI is doing an investigation? They're doing a cover-up, man. They're not doing an investigation. Anybody who thinks they're doing an investigation, you know, once again, I got some swampland here in Florida to sell you. So we're on our way back. Let me get going here. Watch him. He's like a sled dog. He knows when you're heading back to the car, which is the weirdest thing. He won't walk on the way out. I know I've made videos about this, but I do. Isn't he cute the way he walks? I tell you what, he's the cutest dog ever. All right, let's get to the next topic. Whoa, there goes his leash. Look at him. He's dragging the leash. I got to catch him now. Hold up, boo. Hold up. All right, I got him. All right, there you go. There you go. Yeah. All right. That's what I get for trying to make a video and push a basket and take care of the dog at the same time. All right, so the next video I want you to watch, this is Mario Nafal. He's a big YouTuber. He's got a huge channel. I'm pretty sure he's from Iran. He's made it big here in the United States. Got a real good channel. I don't watch him very often, but I did watch this video. And this guy sums up everything that I want you to know about Gaza. I can't say it any better than he does in this interview. You can believe him or not, or you can agree with him or not. I agree with everything he says. Let's watch that video now.
So you think the Middle East and the world would be a better place if Israel didn't exist?
Yes.
Okay.
Israel's committed, you know, so many terrorist attacks. They're stealing land right now. They're operating apartheid. They're currently committing a genocide on Palestinians. Like, do you believe in the genocide they're committing?
I think they're fighting for themselves and they're defending themselves.
Do you think that's defense?
Well,
when 1,200 people die,
Yeah.
of which the 1,200 you've killed and admitted that you've killed a lot during, your hand.
I will tell you this. The part I question where people who are Jewish can't stand when I say this, I don't know how you, Netanyahu, claim you have the best intelligence in the world, Mossad, and you didn't know that on October 7th they're attacking
They knew about it. They didn't. They wanted it to happen, so they had a reason to take that. Yeah, they wanted a reason to take the land.
I totally get it.
And they killed their own citizens.
But
and they claimed that all these people got raped. That was bullshit. They claimed beheaded babies. That was bullshit. Everything that they said was a fucking complete. Not only was it a lie, but they committed all those atrocities themselves to the Palestinians and been caught doing it. In fact, they just got caught gang raping Palestinians. How many babies have they killed? All the things that they accuse the Palestinians of, or Hamas of, or whatever, they're guilty of 100-fold themselves. And they've been doing that. Like, October 7th wasn't the start of this. Like, the start of this was Nakba. They've done so many different.
Disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not like, it's not like October 7th is like, it's all of a sudden they just came over there unsolicited and just killed people. Like, they have been killing Palestinians for years and years, operating two sets of justice. It's like they have the justice for the Palestinians and the justice for the Israelis. And if you read the Talmud, like, if you're not Jewish, you're basically not a human. You're like, like cattle. If a Jew is killed by, somebody that's not Jewish, then it's the death penalty. If a Jew kills somebody that's not a Jew, then, you can't kill them. It's not the death penalty. Like, they literally like segregate in their Bibles.
They're very protective of themselves. I don't think anybody can debate that. I don't think it's a.
Well, it's not the problem isn't that they're protective of themselves. The problem comes when you think that you're better than other people and you think it's okay to lie to anybody that's not a Jew. You think it's okay to steal from people that are not a Jew. You have two sets of standards. The problem with that is it allows you to rationalize anything, right? And human beings are generally self-serving creatures. So if your fundamental religious belief system allows you to operate in such a way that you believe there isn't consequences to stealing from other people, killing other people, raping, kids that are under 9 years old, like, if you think those things are okay, then, how are you going to operate? Because to me, like, my moral code keeps me on track.
I know I'm getting a lot of the dog on this video. He does get thirsty in this Florida heat. Here, I got one more video for you. I almost forgot about it, and it's kind of old news, but maybe it's new news to you. And this is a video. The Ukrainians struck a mall in the Donbass. I don't know what the numbers are. I heard it could have been 100 people in the mall. I don't know how many of them are dead. But this is the video of what that looks like. Once again, I mean, I tell you what, Russia is pissed, man. I mean, they've been doing a special military operation, and I told you, up in Donetsk, we'll get you, I got a post on that, because they're saying right now that they're getting ready to surround that. Let's look at that post. So this is the post on the surrounding of that, and that's what's going on in the Donbass. But I mean, Kursk is, the battle's still raging there. If you want to get a lot of information on that, go to Daniel Davis Deep Dive. Daniel Davis Deep Dive. He just did a video on Kursk. But let's look at that mall video right now. Okay, so that was the mall video. Now, like I said, they called him the Kursk terrorist, and then Putin came out and said there's no more negotiations. So I'm telling you right now, you haven't seen total war in Ukraine. You've seen a special military operation. Basically, Russia's been fighting with one arm tied behind their back, and actually they were trying to I mean, of course they're killing Ukrainian soldiers, but they've been keeping the civilian casualties to a minimum as best they can. And I tell you, when the gloves come off, which they are, I mean, you're going to see, and Russia's saying they got a lot of new weapons that they have not used in that theater. So I imagine we're going to see some new stuff. And God help the Ukrainians. They're about to all die. All right, a couple more stories for you. I want to get back on the nuclear topic here. I forgot to talk about, now, after that nuclear explosion, you're going to have nuclear winter because of the amount of fire and debris that's going to go up into the atmosphere, basically cooling the planet turning it into another ice age. And they were estimating that while some people may survive, it'll be hell on earth. And at least 5 billion people will die of starvation, disease, exposure. I mean, you name it, it's going to be absolutely horrible. I'm trying to get him. All right, he's got a mind of his own. Hold on. All right, thanks. Don't trip the guy, boo. Tough making a video when you're walking the dog. But anyway, so I wouldn't want to talk about that. But the reason I thought about it was Glenn Beck was talking about the fact that CNN is the biggest lying news agency. Why does anybody watch CNN? I watched the whole Trump, Elon, or listened to it, the interview. And so CNN came out and said that Trump and Elon said that Hiroshima and Nagasaki really wasn't all that bad, and that we can recover from a nuclear war no problem. That is not what they said. In fact, Trump raised the specter of nuclear war as the biggest danger to the planet 7 times in the interview. They wonder why when, I don't know, I talked about this in a previous video. Colbert had somebody from CNN on there, and they said, yeah, we do nothing but tell the truth on CNN. In the audience, a leftist audience laughed. They actually laughed at the suggestion that CNN tells the truth about anything. So you know, if the leftists know that CNN's lying, I don't even understand why people watch it anymore. Do you? The other news story that came out with Glenn Beck, and I forgot about this, was they were talking about the car industry and how Trump had, helped out the car industry. He got rid of, right now the Democrats are requiring the Ford and GM and Chrysler to make so many electric cars that nobody wants. Nobody's buying them. They're losing money hand over fist. If the government didn't subsidize them, they would go out of business. But anyway, and so Trump, I think he made the statement that, striking workers, you should be able to fire them, for striking. And so the UAW is now going to sue Elon and Trump for making that statement that striking workers could be on the chopping block. I mean, is it a mixed up world or what? Watching the world burn. So let's get back onto the election for just 2 minutes. Glenn Beck just reported that Politico has put out an actual article stating that the voting machines have been easily hacked. I guess they conducted a hacking operation, and they were easily hacked. However, they cannot be corrected before the election. So they're going to leave these hackable voting machines available, of course in Democrat states for sure. You wonder why they're going to leave a machine that's already been proven to be hacked, and I can't believe Politico actually admitted that. Holy moly. And then of course Air Country, Our Choice, they came out and they said they were trying to true the vote as best they could, but it's just impossible. You can't true the vote when you have voting machines that can be hacked, and you have no voter ID, and you've got mail-in ballots. This is all by design. The Democrats have put all this in place. I'll give you an example of the hypocrisy of the Democrats. I mean, think about it. They required an ID to go to K-Pop's, whatever, her thing up in Pennsylvania, and to get through the gate, you had to show ID. You got to show ID to get into the Democrat National Convention, and yet you don't have to have an ID to vote. Don't tell me the Democrats aren't rigging the election. I mean, come on. It's so obvious. I mean, my God, that's why I hate Democrats, I mean, if you point this out to a Democrat, what are you talking about? Black people can't get an ID. That's racism. That's racism. Hey, I wanted to show you this on the trail. Man, I tell you, I wish I hadn't broke my neck. But this is the fun that we have here in Florida. Check this out. There we go. Look at that. Can you imagine? Let's just walk it. Imagine riding your bike on this thing. I mean, this would be fun. Hell, I could probably do it even with my broken neck. I might just ride this the next time I'm here on my bike. Most of the time I just like to go hiking, but I tell you, that is one good thing that God did for me, is at least I can go hiking I can't imagine what it would be like going through life paralyzed, which I could have been when I broke my neck. So, I mean, hell, I should have been dead, according to the doctor. All right, we're going to get to the video. Hang in there. We're going to make it here in just 1 second. The reason why everything is happening, it's a long, I'm going to do it nice and slow, and I'm going to put the text up for you to read. If you want to punch out right here, I completely understand, but I think this clarifies exactly what's going on in the world. This is Kim.com, and you'll see if you want to subscribe to him on X, you'll see his handle. Let's get into it. All right, the mosquitoes are out, so if I'm jumping around a little bit or swatting, we'll get into it. I'm going to read it nice and slow. This may be the most important post you'll ever read because it provides a simple explanation about why our world is being destroyed by design. I'm not anti-Semitic or a Nazi. I'm simply a former hacker with great analytical skills who understands what's happening in the world. At the end of this post, I will quote from a world domination plan. You will recognize the truth immediately because that's what's currently happening in the world. Today's reality suggests that this plan is real. When you do your own research, you will learn that the origin of this plan was discredited and that the alleged creators have nothing to do with it. But who was the person providing the key evidence? It was Alan Dulles, the man who raised money for the U.S. industrialists to fund Adolf Hitler, his Nazi party, and the war. The man who later became the director of the CIA during Kennedy and the head of the Warren Commission that investigated the Kennedy assassination. Why would anybody believe a man with such questionable character? The protocols of the Elders of Zion have unquestionably borrowed ideas from several authors, but you may say that about most writings throughout history. It was called a fabrication and is one of the first uses of the term conspiracy theory. Why do Zionists, and this was a question that I've asked myself many times, why do Zionists have a massive over-presentation in the media, politics, banking, and world affairs? How did such a small community get to dominate all the centers of power and information and have 1/3 of the U.S. forces in the sea? I'm adding that. We know over in the Mediterranean Sea, that's how much the Zionists command the United States government. Why can Israel ignore UN resolutions, international law, and commit a genocide in Gaza to standing ovations in the U.S. Congress? Why is Israel acting like it is above the law, seemingly without any fear of consequences? And I'll add to that, why is the United States vetoing all UN resolutions in the name of the Zionist? Good question. Read some of the alleged Zionist world domination plan below and compare it with reality. Is all of this just a coincidence? Our power will be more invincible. This is getting double quotes, okay, so this is the plan. Our power will be more invincible than any other because it will remain invisible until the moment when it has gained such strength that no cunning, it says cunning, C-U-N-N-I-N-G, can any longer undermine it. We shall absolutely control the media so that not a single announcement will ever reach the public without our control. In this way, we shall have a sure triumph over our opponents, for without the media, they are helpless. We will distract the brainless heads, I'll add Democrats, the brainless heads with vain conceptions, fantastic theories, rotten amusement, games, and filthy passions, so that they will be unable to use what intellect they have. They will never suspect they have been stage managed by us. We shall establish huge monopolies so that all will go to ruin when the political smash-up comes. We must at all costs deprive them of their lands. We must lower wages and raise the price of all necessities of life. Taking place, right? Everything's going up. Inflation's going up. BlackRock's buying up all the real estate. I'm telling you, I was reading this. I was going, damn, man. I mean, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think he's spot on. We shall create an economic crisis which will stop dealings in all exchanges and bring industry to a standstill. We shall throw onto the streets whole mobs of workers simultaneously all over the world who will rush to loot property and delight to shed blood. 30 million illegal immigrants in the United States. As soon as the Democrats stop paying them after the November election, we're going to have blood in the streets. Very good point. If in our government, besides ourselves, there must only be the mass of enslaved people, a few billionaires devoted entirely to us, police and soldiers. To do this, we must create chaos and hostilities, and we must use all deceit, treachery, and falseness possible. Our greatest weapon is the media. I mean, think about it. The Zionists have captured CNN, CBS, NBC, NPR, MSDNC. I mean, is there any media, BBC? I mean, good God, is there any media that the Zionists don't control? We shall establish one king over all of earth who will annihilate all causes of discord, such as borders, nationalities, religion, state debts, etc., and get peace and quiet, which cannot be secured in any other way. To attain our ends, we must foment trouble in all countries, utterly exhaust all of humanity with hatred, struggle, envies, torture, starvation, and diseases, so that the people will be forced to take refuge in our complete sovereignty. Our MasterCard has been and is and shall be the destruction of all privileges, and the ruins of which we shall set up our absolute autocracy. Please be mindful that most pro-Israel comments on social media are generated by the large bot network in the world, not by real people. Now, the last part wasn't part of the plan. I mean, that's what his final comment was. Now, I want you to look at what he just said. I mean, because when you look at it, every step of the way is exactly what's taking place. Oh, man, that mosquito got me on my neck. So I got to get moving on. Peace out. That's it for the video. And stay free.